Oh, welcome back, everybody. Okay, the start of the school year is almost here, and I know as a working parent, it can be a little stressful to figure out how we're going to balance this. How are we going to make sure our children are getting everything they need at home while we also work at least 8 hours a day? So we have an expert here to help us iron it all out. I'm talking about Mike Munier, Firat Education School Placement Consultant. Good morning to you. You have some pros and cons for us to think about this morning as we try to figure out what to do if your school's not opening up right away. So where do we begin in this journey?
Well, this is becoming an increasingly larger problem for employers, of course, and it's difficult. They've shown a lot of patience through this whole process, but bottom line is I think there are 3 additional ideas that we could utilize to help mitigate the pressure of having to educate your child as well as trying to get to work. So one of them could be to get the support of your family members, an extended family, to help them or have them help you get into the process of educating your child, coming over and working with your child. That's someone who you can trust, and that type of one-on-one education works real well. So it's like a pinch hitting kind of situation. Some families have already started to do that this last spring, and the school districts are much more prepared for what is ahead of them, and so the lessons will be very succinct and nice. The second option could be co-oping with other families. This could be a situation where you work with a cohort group and you manage this, like one family takes Monday, one family takes Tuesday, and that way it releases you from the responsibility for a couple of days at least. But the main idea behind that would to make sure that you could have a cohort group that you would work with. And the responsibility would have to be taken seriously by each of the families as to the educational needs and guidelines, as well as the health guidelines and so forth. And then the third idea would be possibly to hire a tutor or a teacher to come in and do a lot of the work on your behalf. This is not a great option for a lot of families, probably a major majority of our families in the Houston metro area, where they would hire somebody to come in and work with their child. But if you use this person, like in the cohort arrangement, then you could split the cost, and that might work better as well.
Oh, that's so true. I want to talk to you a little bit more about those cons, because it seems like it's those things that make it a little more difficult for us. And you were talking about maybe getting family members or friends or neighbors during if you did that co-op. Is it a good idea to sort of set up, let's just say, some maybe expectations in the beginning, maybe some boundaries, just to make sure from the get-go you're all on the right page about what you expect, of what you hope to get out of it, and then hopefully everyone gets along throughout the process, because I'm sure at the first of the school year, it's going to be a little bit of a stressful time.
You're right, Melissa. You really do need to sit down. If you did develop some sort of co-op or group of that sort, you would really have to sit down and plan and talk it through. It would be so important to lay out those guidelines and the expectations from everyone. The health part of it alone would be something I think I would want to know. For instance, making sure everybody got tested prior to us all coming together to have our weekly meeting, or daily meetings. Bottom line is, I think there would have to be conditions and arrangements made with the families to make it work well.
And, it's going to be challenging, I think, for families, too, because you've got parents who are working until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and children are only going to be, for the most part, with a lot of school districts, online with their teachers for about 4 hours a day, from what I understand. So what do you think about different types of after-school programs, or keeping those kids busy, keeping the minds busy longer than just those few hours a day?
Well, a lot can take place in the 4 hours that the districts are providing. But you're right, those opportunities outside of the home are good. The only situation I would advise parents on is to make sure that those outside programs are exercising smaller groups, and they're also exercising the health guidelines that are necessary to keep your child safe. I think those provide some really, really great opportunities, but you have to understand or make sure that the group is following good guidelines.
All right, Mike, valuable information. What a great conversation, and I appreciate that. I hung on your every word because I'm still trying to figure out the balancing act myself. So take care and hope to chat with you again.
Thank you, Melissa. Have a good day.